So while hip-hop fans are still going off on social media over animals with viral takes like Eminem as a granddad has now out-rapped the most skilled rapper of the new generation twice, this is getting ridiculous. Apparently Royce the 5'9" also finds another conversation surrounding animals ridiculous. And of course, this is linked to perhaps the most talked about bars on animals so far about Ye when Eminem rapped, "Man, look at the mayhem I'm causing. That's probably why I stay on the hot seat. With these magazines, I act out like Ye and his cousin." And it is a lot of fans who ran with the narrative that Eminem is dissing Ye on the song. And we got Royce the 5'9" shed some light on this narrative just hours ago. And before we get to it, today we also have more that's come from JID's decision to not include animals on his album and how this has been received so far, as it pretty much sent shockwaves across social media platforms, even from rappers who can't believe it. And we also have more saved up for later as rappers continue to react to Diddy's not guilty verdict. And starting with the narrative that Eminem is reportedly dissing Ye on animals, perhaps Royce the 5'9" saw this video.
JID dropped a 4-song EP last night ahead of the release of his next studio album, God Does Like Ugly, which drops on August 8th. The 4th track of the EP, titled Animals Part 1, features Eminem, a follow-up to their 2024 collab on Eminem's latest project, The Death of Slim Shady. On this latest track, Eminem disses Kanye West, which has been very common of Eminem during the 2020s, sending subtle shots at Ye. There were small shots in Ye's direction all over Eminem's 2024 project, The Death of Slim Shady. The first one appearing on track 1, titled Renaissance, where M says, "Wayne's album or Ye's? Couldn't tell you which one was lamer." Some foreshadowing here with Lil Wayne's latest release, The Carter 6. A couple tracks later on Antichrist, Eminem says, "They say they wish I wasn't so angry, don't want to see me going off the deep end like Ye." And then again, a couple tracks later on Bad One, M says, "Brain is dead, space cadet, like when Ye forgets to take his meds." Another example is on DJ Khaled's 2022 release God Did on a track titled Use This Gospel Remix, a song in which Kanye does the chorus. Later on, Eminem in his verse says, "Call me Jesus, I'm effed in the head, maybe I'm bonkers." And now in the latest collab with JID on Animals Part 1, M sends one more subtle shot at Kanye saying, "With these magazines I act out like Ye and his cousin," hinting at Kanye admitting to a physical relationship with his cousin when he was younger on his 2025 track Cousins. We're slowly watching the destruction of the artist from the legendary 2009 collab Forever.
And he said, "Enough is enough," and he took to IG to shut down the narrative. Bro ain't dissing Ye, you'd know if he was. Carry on. So it is safe to say that we were one of the few who got it right on the money in our breakdown video, because a lot of reaction channels ran with the narrative that Eminem was straight up dissing Ye, and it seems a lot of users are unhappy about this coming from Royce, as trolls came for his neck on IG. Damn, your boyfriend asked you to tell us that. However, on the other end, some are wondering why users thought it was a diss. I was wondering why people were calling it a diss. Ye said what he did, and it was used as a line, laughing emoji. And this is a story that we covered a while back when Ye gave us the shocking background story of Cousins, and in the breakdown he admitted that he used to slub knob and act out what they saw in the magazines. And over on Reddit, some users have expanded in response to Royce. I mean, Ye's fault for putting that info out there. Obviously he's having mental problems, but when you put it out in the universe, it can become fair game. However, some have accused Royce of lying, so it remains split so far. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on this one. Do you believe it was a diss and we got Royce lying / doing damage control? What are your thoughts? And moving on, if you recall, we already reported that JID revealed that Eminem would not be on his upcoming album, hence the release of Animals Part 1 on the Preluxe. And this has got many fans confused, and we even got this from Ross on IG. Leaving an Eminem feature off the album is insane levels of self-assurance, laughing emojis, incredible bro. And this blew up under JID's post. Features Eminem and it doesn't make the album is a flex if I ever seen one. And what makes this even more of a head scratcher is the fact that Animals is outperforming everything on the Preluxe by far. It is currently the number 3 trending video on YouTube in the United Kingdom, and as you can see, Animals got over 3 times the views of the other 3 songs combined. So business wise, this looks like a horrible decision, and some users on social media aren't happy about this. Eminem's feature not being on the main album doesn't sit right with me, and the user expanded, "You don't waste a feature from a legend, especially someone like M, who doesn't just give away features easily, like he put you on the death of Slim Shady. I'm just speculating, but I don't believe JID made this decision. If only we could get Paul Rosenberg to clear this up, because I'm not buying the narrative that Animals couldn't make the album as a quote creative decision. And at this point, we all know that when it comes to these decisions, the artists signed under major labels aren't as free as people think. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on this decision. And moving on, we got a couple of more rappers to add to the list of rappers reacting to Diddy's verdict, and we already covered Boosie, Uncle Luke, 50 Cent, Funk Flex, and now we got Mano.
You surprised by the news today with Diddy at all?
Surprised in what way?
Just, I mean, were you thinking that he was going to get off, or did you think he was going to be found,
Well, I was hoping that he got around in RICO and things like that, because I didn't think that being a freak constituted having a RICO charge, and I don't want to take nothing away from any, the women and
Sure.
whatever he's done, right? But at the end of the day, I didn't think that what the feds were doing, the narrative that they had created, really fit what was happening. It is what it is. He got found guilty for, flying in prostitutes or whatever. I mean, this is something that people do all the time, and those people, for women or whoever soliciting goods, they want to do that. Who am I? I'm not a lawmaker.
Yeah. Well, the person in the hip hop, the artist and stuff like that,
Right.
do they take him back? Do you feel like he comes back with open arms?
mean, listen.
Because again, he's found innocent. And you're innocent until proven guilty.
Problem with the world today is that we all stand so judgmental. I can't judge guys on some of the things that they may have done, right? So I mean, it's to each his own. Like I don't know what the game gonna have for him. I don't know what that's gonna look like. Everybody got something to say, so but I didn't think that. I'm glad I didn't want to see him get life.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that he would at least get the bail after he got found guilty on a lesser charge. I think the jury did the right thing. I think they saw for what it was. He was a guy that was in these relationships. He had wild freak nature, but that's whatever. You know what I mean?
Are you the freak stuff? Do you think people are going to start, obviously the hip hop guys, like rappers, are they going to treat him like they used to after all the stuff they learned about him?
I don't know, but I know this. What I learned is that I thought I was a freak. To that.
Yeah.
When that came out, then I was like, I'm really a choir boy. I thought I was on time, but I'm really not.
I hear you, bro. Listen, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you doing the acting work.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it.
And some users are triggered by the fact that rappers are now speaking up and defending Diddy. Third person to defend Diddy. These celebrities are such cowards, silent the entire time, but want to show face to be friends with Diddy again. They don't stand for anything. And speaking on rappers, only sharing their thoughts after the fact, we got Mr. Fab, who was literally calling out, quote, industry fake friends who waited for the smoke to clear.
Look, man, I'm not finna tell y'all nothing new, but what I am finna tell y'all is just something I want y'all to look into. Check it out. Now that y'all hear that Diddy has been found not guilty, watch how many of his so-called industry friends come out posting pictures with him, posting videos. Watch the commentary of many folks saying, I told y'all, nigga, look, whoop, whoop. They just was hating on Diddy. You see, they could come out all of that afterwards, but during your trials and tribulations, during the time when the whole world is against you, notice the people that get away from you. Notice the people that won't stand side by side with you. I tell you this, now I've never been facing nothing that large of an allegation, you know what I'm saying? I've never been facing anything like that, but there have been things that people have thrown on my name, and there have been things that people have said about me, and there have been things that people will, discuss in barbershops and the banter around their whole crew, right? And you see folks who will get far away from you. You know what I'm talking about? I went through some things when I was young in my career, getting banned from the radio. And it was individuals who I used to do songs for. I wrote hit records for people. I gave people anthems. I did verses for folks. I did a lot of stuff for people, and they had all kind of records with me, right? But the radio told them, hey, Fab is banned. I seen fools take me off songs just so they could get radio play. I seen dudes take me out of their videos. I seen dudes get on these platforms and not mention my name as if it was something that, like, it was a curse, if it was a sin, like I didn't represent this culture, like I didn't represent and put people on when it was my time, when it was me on stage, when I would bring folks on, when they had me come to Summer Jam and they give me 20 minutes, and 17 of those 20 minutes I shared with all of the Bay Area artists that was coming up at the time. And then I watched when I went through my trials and I went through my the things that I was going through, I watched how them same individuals backed up from me, didn't represent for me. It's only a couple that stayed solid. That was like, man, Well, shit, if y'all ain't playing him, then you know you ain't gonna play me, because I ain't taking him off no song. I give a big shout out to Band-Aid. I give a big shout out to a couple other individuals that didn't do that. But it was a majority of y'all. Some of y'all representatives, some of y'all spokesmen, they went quiet. Watch how people go quiet when you going through your turmoil. Watch how people go. They get silent. And like they say, like Martin Luther King said, it is not the voices of my enemies that I worry, because I expect them to say what they say about me. But it is the silence of the people that they call themselves my friends that won't say nothing in my defense, that won't come forward because they afraid that everything that's on me gonna get put on them. Them ain't really your friends. Like 50 Cent say, these industry niggas know how to pretend. You feel me? I know these niggas ain't my friend. These industry niggas know how to pretend. If I get shot, my phone will stop ringing again. I know how it go. So I just saying, watch all these fake, watch all these blogs, watch all these rappers, watch all these people start posting pictures from them Diddy parties. Watch. I'm just telling y'all, man, and let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson to any victims that may have been hurt doing whatever allegations of, to anybody that really had to suffer or endure some of the repercussions of the antics or whatever this man was accused of. May condolences go to their families. But I honestly believe that, you know, a man being vindicated after having to be humiliated is just all a part of the powers that be.
Counting down the days until she's 18. I'm not waiting until she's 18. I'll go now. There is no limits right there.
The powers that be, they want to let us know, hey man, you're still a nigga, man. You feel me? And we still run this, but we finna humiliate you and do all of these things like they say. But just imagine these folks that's calling you their friends, they don't fuck with you like that.
However, some users aren't buying this. I doubt it. Puff's reputation is toast. No one with anything to lose will stand by him. And I found this hilarious. Only dusty celebs like Boosie that Diddy doesn't care about will stand next to him. And when a user brought up Ye actually showed up there too. Also, Ray J being very vocal on Diddy too. We got this. Dusty celebs, like I said. Thanks for making my point. If Diddy had any common sense, he would distance himself from Ye. And that will be all for today. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.